Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Irrational. Very sorry for the delay. It turns out having your home destroyed and having to hitchhike your way to New York is a bit more difficult than expected. So I'm just, doing a lot of walking, mostly walking. Very few cars are stopping. But that's okay. I think I've found a decent enough Wi-Fi hotspot to get this episode out there. So hopefully this goes through. I don't know. I'll be there soon enough. New York can't be that far. You know what? Let's not think about that right now. Let's talk about this week's episode. So this week's episode is one of my best friends in the world, Kate Triner. Kate's great. You are going to love her. We have a really fun conversation about the made-for-TV 1996 film, if you can call it a film, Night of the Twisters. And Kate saw that as a young child, and it really affected her, as most of my guests are affected. And we also discuss at the end of the episode Kate's less fear and more fascination with ghosts, and that's as far as she can tell from seeing the movie The Shining when she was way too young. So yeah, it's a really fun, interesting conversation. You're gonna love it. We do our plugs at the end, and so without further ado, Kate Triner. So Kate, how are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
This is my glass and a half of wine.
This is when you finish this, it'll be a glass and a half.
I think so.
Oh, you're moving slow, Kate. Pick up the pace.
You've had 2 sips.
I know. But I just got out of my car. You've
That's
been home
good.
Relaxing after work.
Yeah, that is true. I should be
Worrying
on my
about
5th.
Tornadoes all day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, Kate, tell us about this movie that you saw as a child.
So, one of my fears is tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
That is my main one. And the movie, when I was a kid, was called Night of the Twisters.
Yeah.
And it was a 1996 made-for-TV movie.
Oh, it was made for TV?
Uh-huh. I think it was
Love
Fox
it.
Family. So I had cable when I was growing up. So my parents let me kind of watch whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
So, but they kind of let me watch, It.
Wow,
Stephen
really?
King's It. Yeah. Clowns, don't like them either.
Yeah.
So I watched this movie, and it's like, who is it? Devon Sawa from Final Destination. The main guy, the blonde guy.
Oh, yeah.
And then John Schneider, the dad from Smallville.
Okay.
It's such a bad movie. Such a bad. But when you're 1996, 8.
Sure.
It's frightening.
Yeah. Well, because like that, I mean, it's a bad movie is kind of the same production value as your standard children's show.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're used to watching is like these
Crappy TV.
crappy, like, so we're used to low production, and then you see a movie that's the same production quality as like your favorite show,
Yeah.
and it's something scary that could really be unsettling as a child.
So we actually watched it last night.
Yeah.
Just to prepare for this.
Yeah. Oh, because for anyone curious, it is available in full on YouTube.
Full hour and a half YouTube. Horrible quality. But it is, if you want to watch Night of the Twisters, go watch it.
Yeah. I'm so bummed. I was so swamped. I really wanted to watch it. John sent me clips that he recorded on his
You
phone.
probably heard me laughing on the clips.
Yeah, I did. It was so funny. It was like the scenes that he sent didn't make any sense.
Oh, no. There was a grandma scene where in the beginning they had a race, and then she's like, oh, here's some hot chocolate. And then she hit him in the head. It was really weird.
She took the hot chocolate from one boy, and she was like, be sure to share that. And it was like the tiniest cup of hot chocolate.
She's like, I'm going to smack your head if you don't drink it.
Who cares if boys are drinking their hot chocolate or not? But also, why are you making them share the smallest cup of hot chocolate I've ever seen?
And later in the film, spoiler,
Uh-huh.
she gets attacked by the tornado.
Attacked by the tornado.
And then because she's sleeping while her son, John Snyder, is trying to call her. So she's sleeping, like she's dead.
Yeah.
And then they find her like underneath the barn. And then she's like confused the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't even think she remembers that chocolate.
Wait, and so John Snyder is the
The
Smallville
dad.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the dad in the movie, and then the dad on Smallville.
Oh, okay. I thought he was one of the children in the scene or something like
No,
that.
he's too old to be the child.
So when you say attacked by the tornado, what are you talking about?
So all of a sudden, it's like fall. Like the whole scene is like a fall in a little town, and all these tornadoes are coming, like weird tornadoes. Attacks this town. It starts raining. So the whole movie is just them, running away from all these tornadoes that come in one night. I think it's like a 3-hour span.
Okay.
Which it's a lot of tornadoes in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like the grandma gets hurt, the dad gets hurt. I hope I'm not ruining this for anybody.
I don't think anyone cares.
I don't think anyone cares, and we'll never watch this. But it's just a really strange movie.
Yeah.
Really strange. But while watching it when you're 8, it's frightening.
Sure.
Because we live in Chicago.
Yeah.
We get a lot of tornado warnings.
Yeah. And then when you do, it's not really that scary.
No. And this is like the same time
come.
like Twister comes out with Helen Hunt.
Uh-huh.
So I watched that. So that kind of like magnified it.
Because you're like, oh, this is what it should have looked like. And
Exactly.
This is way worse.
And there's a scene in the movie last night where they're like, oh, yeah, a thing of cows are, have been taken up by the Twister. In Twister with Helen Hunt, there is a scene where the cows just fly across.
Right, you actually see it
Maybe
in the air.
they stole it from Night of the Twisters.
Yeah.
You never know.
Oh, man, I love the idea of some, like, Hollywood writer, producer watching Night of the Twister and being
As
like, no, I could
research.
make this into something real. That's so funny. And so you said you were about 8 when you saw it?
I think 8. So it came out in 1996. I can't
96?
speak.
So yeah, we were
1996,
probably
8 years old. That's a long time
and
ago.
you were born and raised in the Chicago area?
Yes. So, at this time, there was like this flood that happened. I'm thinking like 97.
Really?
That it was a horrible night. I mean, I think it was flooding. It was kind of like tornado weather. I don't recall, but like the whole night, the movie just flashed, before my eyes.
Uh-huh.
Got all my stuff together. Got the Beanie Babies all together. Created a little, backpack, a survival kit.
Yeah. But
ever since then, I can't handle storms. Like big storms.
Yeah.
Like when I see like tornado warnings, when I see like,
So even nowadays,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
see, oh no.
I get nervous. I know.
Oh no, that's
So
such a
it's
bummer.
still with me.
I don't think that's uncommon though. I feel like you're the norm when it comes to that. You know what I
Really?
mean? I don't know. Maybe I've never had any fear of it. Like, my mom would make us go to the basement like during tornado warnings and stuff, and I was
Mhm.
always like, "We're not gonna get a tornado. We've never gotten a tornado." Meanwhile, I'm like a fucking 8-year-old as well, and it's like, what am I talking about? I don't have that much life experience to
Exactly.
be judging
Well,
my mom.
In high school, we were, a friend and I were driving,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like the clearest day. Like the sky was blue. We had to drive out to like Skokie, which
Okay.
is about, maybe 40 minutes away
Sure.
where I lived. And then all of a sudden, the sky turned green.
Yeah.
So we're, about 40 minutes away from home. And all of a sudden, I get a call, from my mom saying, "Get home, there's tornado warnings." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And then we're driving through it. I mean, the wind picked up. Like, we were in, like, a full-on almost tornado. So we had
Yeah.
to pull over. It was like, should we go to somebody's house? Should we, knock on somebody's door? It was fine. We get back to my neighborhood, and it was like trees were down. My
Wow.
aunt's car was parked in front of my house at the time, and the tree across the street fell right on it. So, I mean, that's some scary stuff.
Yeah, that is. And it's like, I feel like that kind of solidifies your fear.
Yeah,
Because they can come to where you are.
exactly.
Oh, that's terrifying.
It's an irrational
I've only
fear.
ever been afraid twice, as far as weather goes. One time, I do remember going to my basement and the sky was green,
Mhm.
and maybe it was the same night. Who knows?
It could have been.
I mean, I'm
We
from
could've
the
been
south
frightened.
suburb.
at the same time.
We might, because like it's the only time I ever saw the sky green like that,
Mhm.
and I was finally like, maybe mom's right. Maybe we should go to the basement.
Maybe they are right.
Yeah. So we went to the basement and hung out like under a table and stuff for a very long time. And then another time
we were visiting family in Quincy, I want to say. I don't even know. We were visiting family like 6 hours away at least. Their house was very big and had huge glass windows. Like the whole backside of the house was like window.
That's just setting up for disaster.
Yeah, it was nuts. And like there was like a two-story window like in the back main floor and stuff. Like it was huge. And my parents, there's no like on the news there was no prediction of tornadoes or anything. My parents went out to like the store or something, and it was pretty far away.
That's where they get you.
And then what?
That's where they get you.
What? When
No
you split up
warning.
from your
Last
parents?
minute.
Oh.
That's what happened in the movie. Not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Like he was in charge of his baby brother,
Uh-huh.
and then all of a sudden, like the sirens would go off. He would go get him, and then he's like, "Oh, they stopped. I guess I'll put the baby back in the crib."
Uh-huh.
Went downstairs. It happened like 3 times.
Yeah.
And then finally, he went in there. No baby in the crib. The crib flipped over. And the baby was like in the corner.
What?
Still alive.
I have
No
to
warning.
see this movie. I have to see this so bad.
Oh.
Why would they have that scene? The crib
Because
tips
they're
over and the
maniacs.
baby's in the corner.
So for a split second, you're like, the baby's dead.
Yeah, it's
The
either
baby's
dead,
dead.
or don't have that scene in the movie.
Because like a scene before, the friend broke a chair. So
Yeah.
the guy's like automatically like, oh no, I'm dead. My dad's going to get me.
Yeah.
Then he broke a lamp. And he's like, oh no, like this is it. Like I'm going to be grounded. If you kill the baby,
Yeah.
what's going to happen next? He did not give a shit about the baby.
It's also fun. I mean, I can't imagine that he would get grounded. I think they would be a little
Murder?
distracted by the fact that the baby was dead.
That is
But
true.
why? How clumsy is he that he's breaking a chair and then a lamp in succession?
It was a lover's quarrel. The friend and the main guy, Devon Sawa,
Mm-hmm.
the whole time, Devon Sawa was yelling at the friend. I mean, like, get over there, do that, go in the basement, blah, 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 blah. He
Yeah.
was so demanding. But the entire time, they still loved each other.
Wait.
The friend and Devon Sawa.
Oh, so these are... Okay.
The characters.
I thought you were
in
talking
the-
about boyfriend and girlfriend or something like that.
No. It's his friend.
Oh, okay. Because when you said lover's quarrel, because then
It
I was
was.
like...
The whole
I was like,
time
that's
it was a
surprisingly
lover's quarrel.
progressive for 1996.
He was like, dude, you got to get in the basement. Listen to me. He
Yeah.
was so demanding. You have to watch it. Just
I'm
for
going
that.
to. I'm absolutely going to. Even if like it's at first I was like I want to watch it for homework for the podcast, and then when John was sending me the clips, I was like I desperately need to see this fucking movie. I love a bad piece of media.
It was a long hour and a half last night
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah.
And it was sober too. We watched
No,
it sober.
why would you do that to yourselves?
I don't know.
You gotta watch.
Oh wait, maybe I did have a drink.
Oh, that's going on your tombstone.
Oh wait, maybe I did have
Oh
one.
wait. Wow, that's crazy. So is that the one that we talked? Is it the closest? Oh wait, I didn't finish. Mine
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
even that.
I cut you off.
No, it's fine. What happened was my parents, when they were driving, they saw a weird shaped cloud, and my mom was like, "I think that's a funnel cloud," because
Yeah.
she had never seen one in real life, but she'd seen like news footage and stuff. She's like, "I think that's a funnel cloud. We have to get back right now." And then like as they turned around, the sky was like you could like watch it change color. That's how quickly it was all
That is
happening.
my fear.
So she's freaking out because she's like, the kids we were old enough to take care of ourselves, but we weren't old enough to, figure out what to do in a tornado, I guess. So they were panicking, driving back, calling, and we're like watching movies in the basement. So I guess we didn't answer. Finally answer. My mom's like, stay in the basement, go in the far back corner and all this stuff. And it turns out to never come near the house we're in, which is good news because it was one of those ones where the basement, it was like built on a hill. So
Mhm.
like the basement was in the back of the basement. It's
Okay.
actually like the main floor. Like it wasn't underground, only like half of the basement was underground. And so she's freaking out because there's so many giant windows in this
Yeah.
building. And then
It's gonna slice you.
they get back and we kind of hang out for a while, and then the sky dies down and we're like, okay, like that's nothing happened. And then the next day, like on the news, it said where it touched down and stuff. And we went for a ride, and seeing where the tornado touched down and like moved across the land is exactly how it looked in a movie. It was insane. Like there was just this strip of torn up dirt, and then apparently leveled a swimming pool, like it was like a indoor pool.
Yeah.
It leveled the entire building. Luckily, someone on staff, like they got everyone in the basement. There's no like injuries or anything, but like it was just shocking how it looked like a movie.
Yeah.
it was cartoonish. Even the way you just see this patch or this strip of ripped up land, I was like, I never thought it would be that neatly done in
and
real
it's
life.
so scary too, because then you get that feeling like, not to sound crazy, but you feel like when you're a
I'm
kid.
sure this is like going to be the least crazy thing anyone's ever said on my podcast.
No, when you're a kid and you're playing like hide and go seek,
Yeah.
like summertime, and then you're like, ooh, I'm so nervous, like you want to pee your pants.
Yeah.
It's that feeling, like,
Uh-huh.
a tornado's coming. So when I was younger, it was like, pack up the stuff, let's go. Like
Yeah.
I would pack up everything.
I love that you packed up.
I did.
You're not supposed to do that.
I know. The last thing you should do is pack up your stuff.
Yeah. I
Oh,
figure
no.
someone who's so afraid would not take the time to grab Beanie Babies.
Those Beanie Babies needed to be saved.
And how much are they worth today?
I don't even know where they're at.
Yeah, they're probably in a trash can
They're
somewhere.
saved.
Man, that's crazy. So that's a current fear. You still are.
Mhm.
How does that manifest itself? Like now that you live in an apartment, you don't have like a basement to hide in.
I've never really thought about that. Thank you.
Oh no, I'm so
much.
sorry.
Now I'm just gonna be thinking about that. No. I feel like now living in an apartment, I mean, there is nowhere to go.
Yeah,
So
but you also still live in the Chicagoland area.
That
they
is
don't
true.
really come.
like once in a blue moon they come.
And like when we get, a lot of times when we get the warnings, I don't even think they touch down anywhere.
Yeah.
And then even if they do come, I mean, you got plenty of buildings around here. It's not so.
I mean, like a couple weeks ago, they had like this thing like possible tornadoes, and like the day before I was like, should I go to work? Should I?
Yeah.
And so I went to work and I was like, oh no, it's going to happen right when I get home. Oh, so the whole night I was anxious. It really didn't even fucking rain. And I was like, oh no, my fear is getting the best of me.
Yeah.
So I'm still struggling with it.
I get it. I mean, it's not that I personally get it, but like my mom's always been that way. Like if there's like a chance that a tornado could come, she probably wouldn't want to go to work either.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty.
It's kind of weird though, Yes and no. I mean, it shouldn't hinder you, but it's the weather. It's going to change.
Well, it's so funny because like you're saying that, but like I know people that honestly, you drive like 6 hours from here and then you see like a little like flurry and people freak out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you think you're being crazy about the weather. These people, if it like drizzles, it's like, oh, no, can't come into work today.
That is
The
true.
roads are too dangerous.
Wouldn't that be
So,
great?
What?
You still have to go to work if it's like 2
Oh my
feet of
God.
snow.
Like Sonya's from DC. They would shut down if there was like less than an inch.
What?
They would call their friends up and be like, "Oh my God, it's snowing! Like, let's all go to this person's house." And they would just like have a slumber party and get drunk because they could do that. And it wasn't. That was partly self-preservation. It wasn't like they were taking advantage of the situation. Everyone involved thought that like this is too dangerous to be outside right now. But their jobs would call them and be like, "Don't come in. It's snowing. It's too dangerous to be on the road." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
We never had a snow day. Like
Oh,
it
no.
would have been like really bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe as children, but like
yeah.
junior high, high school, no.
Maybe once,
Yeah.
twice maybe. But nowadays it's like you got to get to work
Oh yeah.
no matter what.
I was walking dogs, driving, getting stuck every 30 minutes, having to dig my car out. It was so bad.
I did not come into work once
Yeah.
because it was 2 years ago, the night of the Super Bowl when it was like really crazy snowing.
Okay.
Like I mean like horizontal
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Whereas more of a storm than it
My
was.
bone just cracked. I did that. Horizontal bone crack. I'm old. So
aren't we
no.
all?
And then the next day it was like my car, because when we lived in an apartment building, we had to park like 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
So we traveled all the way to the car, and it was so caught into the snow. Like we had to dig it out.
Yeah.
So I told my employer, I was like, I can't come in today. But I can't even think of another time where I was like, oh, 2 inches, I can't come in.
Yeah. One day I spent 8 hours. No, I spent 6 hours after work shoveling out my car. Or shoveling out a space for my car, because the mound for the what's it called, like when the snowplow came by,
Oh yeah.
the mound froze solid. So it took me 6 hours to just shovel this space out. And during that 6 hours, I became the person where I'm like, I totally fucking get it where people put lawn chair furniture
And
out
cones
to
and
like mark their spot because I just dug this shit for 6 hours. Fuck anybody that wants to take this spot. And
Chicago crazy.
But then the next morning, I had to dig the car out for 6 more hours before finally giving up and calling my work and being like, sorry, I cannot come in. Like it was, by this point, it was like 2 p.m. and I was so tired. I was like, even if I could come in, I'm not going to work.
Right.
So I went inside and I slept for like 6 hours, and then I had to go back out and dig for 3 more hours.
It's a workout. You sweat and you're like, ugh, I can't do this. You work muscles that you've never worked before.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, exactly.
One time.
Like labor muscles, because you're like,
full
no.
on.
Like I said before we started, I've always been a manual laborer. Like I've only ever had one sit down job, and
right when he said that, I said, "Are you a carpenter?"
I wish. I have no carpentry skills at all.
I wish I did.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool trade.
I've sanded something before.
Yeah, I mean, I have basic carpentry skills, but nothing.
I mean, like full on making like a shed.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
It'd be cool to do.
Let's start a business.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm done being a comedian. I'm canceling the podcast.
Bob Vila.
What was it? Oh, but then when you start shoveling, you're like, I've never worked any of these muscles. I'm so weak right now.
And the thing is, my parents used to go on a trip to Mexico every January when I was living at home. And I used to watch the house. Every time they went, it would snow. I mean, full on snow. And one year, it was so bad. It was when we got 12 inches, 15 inches. It was a big one.
Yeah.
When they shut down Lakeshore Drive.
Okay, yeah. I remember that.
I was home alone with the dog. I had to shovel everything. And everything was iced the next day. Yeah. And they were enjoying margaritas on the beach in Mexico. And they called and they were like, how are things? And I'm like, shut up. I'm like, you're enjoying your drink. I'm with the dog. I'm shoveling out everything, using every muscle that I never used. Yeah. Thank you.
So how about snow? Does it have to be like thunder lightning type of storm or like?
I think tornadoes kind of creep me out more, but snow, maybe I do have like a storm thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I get nervous, but kind of excited, like, ooh, maybe there is something gonna happen.
Yeah.
But then when like a tornado, it's like, oof.
So if there's no tornado warning, you can find some kind of enjoyment in a storm. Because I personally love a storm.
I sleep right through them.
Okay, cool.
Ironic, because then if I'm like anxious, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But I sleep right through them. But if it's like a tornado, I'm like.
As soon as you hear that siren.
Oh yeah.
What about, does it just freak you out at all when they just test the siren?
No. Every Tuesday in Elmwood Park.
Yeah. As a kid, that used to scare me after the one time where we had to go to the basement. It was like for like a few months, like it would scare me when they would even test it. It would be a bright sunny day and I'd be like, oh God.
It's coming.
Yeah. That's crazy. So how do you I mean, I guess you're just afraid of it. You don't really cope with it obviously you cope with it. You deal with it. You haven't
I haven't been blown
committed
away
or anything like that, but
I mean, but the thing is, as a kid, I loved Wizard of Oz.
Really?
Yeah. That
I
didn't
feel like
bother
that
me.
would freak you. I guess, I don't know, because you watch it and then they get set down gently.
Yeah.
Aside from
in a magical land.
The one witch.
Oh, that is true.
Which witch? I don't know which witch that was.
Wicked Witch of the West.
No, isn't the West the green one?
Yeah.
Which one is the one where the house lands on her?
Oh, the East. The sister, right?
Yeah, I think it was East.
Yeah.
And then there's Glenda the
Drop
Good
a house
Witch.
on my sister.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I played Glenda.
Really?
In a school play in 4th grade.
That's awesome.
There is a video floating around.
I need to see that tonight.
No, you don't.
I
don't own it. No. In 4th grade, I did. I can't believe I'm saying this. I tried out for the school play.
Yeah.
And as a 4th grader, you're like, oh, no. Everyone, it was like 7th or 8th grade. You got the big parts.
Yeah.
And then, I got the part. And I mean.
And that's a big part.
Yeah.
That's probably the second biggest, maybe third biggest part. Because it'd probably be Dorothy.
The 3 of them. The witch.
Dorothy,
so
the
like
Wicked
the 5th.
Witch.
I'm one step up from Auntie Anne.
That's still a big part, though.
That is true.
It's not a bit. It's not like a extra.
I mean, I had the pink dress.
Yeah.
I had my 4th grade glasses.
Do you think it had anything to do with your red hair?
Definitely. Definitely.
They're just like, oh, there's a ginger in our school.
Oh, man. She has to play Glinda. No. So, yeah, so that's floating around.
I need to see that tonight.
No. Never.
I love it.
No. I'm going to have to kill you if you see that.
So did you have anything else that you want to talk about with the storms? Or did you want to move on to the ghost stuff?
We can move on to the ghosts.
Yeah. Because I feel like, with the storm stuff, like,
that's a real fear.
it's a real fear. And it's
Yeah.
like, I can't really hash it out. Like, I can't, you don't cope with it. You know, because like it's like you're not going to get over that because that's like an actual fear.
Right.
That's
I'll
like an
probably
actual
be 90
present
and I'll
thing.
be like, ooh, a tornado's coming.
Right, and that's fair.
About to
like
pee my pants.
it's a legitimate. It could come at any moment, and weather
Yeah.
is scary.
So that is frightening.
Yeah.
But my ghost thing, I'm kind of like intrigued by it.
Yeah. And wait, so let's start with you saw Poltergeist?
Yes. So when I was younger, had cable.
Yeah.
So obviously I watched everything.
Was this also around 8?
I would say a little younger.
Wow, really?
So, I mean, I was an only child. My parents kind of like treated me like as their friend. So it was kind of like, ooh, are we going to go see the movie? Like my mom took me to go see The Piano.
The Piano.
Have you ever heard of that movie?
Adrian Brody?
No.
Pianist.
No.
What's
This is The Piano with, I think, Holly Hunter.
No.
She gets her fingers chopped off.
What?
My mom brought me to the theater, and someone said to my mom, why are you taking a little girl to the theater? Mom's like, meh, you know.
Yeah.
So that was frightening.
How old were you for that?
I'm thinking like 6 or 7.
Honestly, anything younger than 16 is probably.
Oh yeah. So no, I was exposed to like things at an early age.
Yeah.
So like I used to watch ER with my mom all the time.
Oh wow.
I mean like, and never explanation, never like, oh, this is fake. It was kind of like, this is real.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So my mom would used to make tapes. So record the VHS.
Yeah.
So on one end, it was Baby Boom. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's with Diane Keaton. It's in the 80s. It's like a single New York working woman, and she gets this baby from a family member.
Gets a baby.
Gets a baby. Literally gets a baby. And it's with the guy from Ghostbusters. Harold.
Ramis?
Yep, he's in there.
Yeah.
So it's a, lighthearted movie. Working woman, getting a baby, trying to figure out life. Okay. On the other side was Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore.
On the other side? What do you mean the other side?
Or the other side, or extended. So it would be watching this movie, and then the video automatically went into...
Oh, so it's like...
I'm aging myself more than I am.
No, when you said the other side, I thought you meant like how cassettes, you could flip a cassette.
The wine
I was like,
is
what
setting
kind
in.
of VHS player did you have?
No. Like, so it would...
Some
and
fancy, like, rich people VHS?
Oh, yeah. And then it finally kind of went like... And then it went into the new movie.
Uh-huh.
So then it was Ghost.
Okay.
So here I am thinking, ooh, babies, And then it was Ghost. And then I was like, oh, no. Have you ever seen Ghost?
No.
Okay. It's an adult movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he dies.
Oh, wait.
With Demi
Swayze?
Moore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg.
I haven't seen it in full, but I know what you're talking about. Okay.
But there's like scary, like...
Oh, yeah, there's like shadow demons.
Shadow demons.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So going from Baby Boom to that, and you're like, oh, ghosts. Okay.
Is there a scene where a guy on like another ghost on like a abandoned subway teaches him how to touch things? Okay.
Yes.
I
and
saw
he
that
pushes,
scene alone
yeah.
as a child.
Yeah.
And I freaked out because it's just the aggressive nature of that scene.
That guy was scary to begin with.
It was scary.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I can't. Okay. So you went from Baby Boom to an adult movie. Mostly romantic, but occasionally
I don't
scary.
want an adult movie like a porno. Here's Baby Booming.
Well, it's a porno for some people that
oh,
pottery
yeah.
scene.
That is true. Okay. So going from that, and you're like, oh, no. Then my parents they watch Poltergeist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no. This shit's real.
Okay.
So going from Ghost, where you're like, okay, I guess, And then watching Poltergeist, you're like, oh, no, that scene when they're floating down the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, ooh, this is so magical.
Yeah.
No.
I was probably like 24. No, probably like 22 or 23 when I finally saw Poltergeist. And
Wait,
I was...
At the Terror in the Isles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Terror
I
in the
survived
Isles
that night.
is. I've talked about the Music Box Massacre before. For anyone curious, Terror in the Isles was put on by the same people, and it was a shorter horror movie marathon, but it was still probably like 8 hours.
No.
No?
24 hours.
No, Music Box Massacre was 24 hours. Terror in the Isles was the shorter one.
I'm
Was
sorry.
it was it
was
a Music Box?
It was the Music Box.
Oh wow.
I think. Oh no, now I'm getting confused.
It doesn't matter.
It was one
But
of them.
during a horror movie marathon, we watched Poltergeist together, and it was my first viewing. And as like an adult, I mean, as adult as
Now
I
I'm
can
thinking,
get,
was I there?
I don't know.
Oh no.
It's not. It's an
I
inconsequential
think yes, I
detail.
was. I was.
But it scared me. Like it was like
Yeah.
a grown person. I was like,
Because it's real. Like it feels real.
yeah, because it's slow and it's
Yeah.
boring until it's not.
And it's fun, kind of in the beginning,
Uh-huh.
kind of like normal family.
It draws you in. Your guard is down. Because
Yes.
at first I was really anxious. I was stressed because I was like, this is supposed to be like a really scary movie. And then it does a really good job of calming you down until you're not scared. And then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, fuck you though.
And the scene with the steak crawling.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the iconic scene of him ripping his face off
Oh,
in the
yeah.
mirror.
Oh yeah.
God, that's so brutal.
Yeah.
So you saw that.
At a young age.
Ugh.
I know. So being with that, it's like, are ghosts real? Who knows?
Right.
But I don't know, seeing that kind of like, but now I watch, like The Conjuring, and I really enjoyed it. The first
Conjuring.
one,
Don't know The Conjuring.
a couple years ago. It's with
The Conjuring. Yeah,
Patrick Wilson and
Newer
Vera
movie.
Farmiga. The
Like,
second one,
less than 10 years.
not that good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
First one, yes, very good. But it's like I'll watch these and I'll be like, ooh, I'm really interested. But then I have that little fear.
Sure.
But
Well, I feel like a lot of like fears can turn into like obsessions or interests in that way.
but I do have a ghost story.
Yeah. And you want to tell it right now?
So this was back in high school,
Yeah.
I would say. And in my friend's basement, we were watching Nip Tuck. You
Okay.
watch that show?
No.
About the two doctors, like the plastic surgeons.
Yeah.
Okay. We're watching it on DVD, fancy, probably on a Friday night. So we're watching it in the basement. There were 3 of us down there. No one else, I think, was home.
Okay.
So it was dark. We're watching the video, and then all of a sudden the video stops. So my friend walks over and kind of was like trying to fix the DVD. So there was nothing on the DVD or nothing on the TV to make sound.
Sure.
Kind of went black. I think she took out the DVD. So all of a sudden we're sitting there, and then clear as day, you hear a woman's voice say, "Get out." So all of a sudden, now we're all sitting in the same area but kind of separated. We all stopped talking, or like we weren't talking to begin with. But someone said, "Did you hear something?" And someone said, "Get out." And I'm like, "Uh-huh."
That's so weird.
So we all
when
heard
someone
it.
else confirms
Yeah.
your suspicion without you, because it's not like you were leading them. Like, did you hear "Get Out"? And they were like, "Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
maybe.
Get Out."
Oh,
The fact
did
that she
I?
immediately goes "Get Out."
Oh, yeah. So it was clear as day. The TV kind of wasn't on, so it wasn't the DVD, it wasn't Nip Tuck.
Right.
So it was just a woman's voice saying, "Get out." So ever since then, I'll always tell that story, kind of be like, maybe there is a little something out
Yeah.
there. But I mean,
I love the
That's
idea of a
weird.
ghost just being like, "I hate Nip Tuck."
I hate that show. Get out. But no, that's my scary ghost story.
Yeah.
So I kind of get like intrigued by it, because I do think that there might be a little something out there.
Yeah, and that story isn't like horrifying. It's really like if
yeah.
you experience that, that's creepy and stuff, but that might not scar you for life.
I mean, but I've had other things happen to me too.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was living at my parents' house, I was home by myself, and I was upstairs, and my bedroom was kind of on the second floor, but it was a stairs going down, so there was no door. And home by myself, all of a sudden I heard the door open and bags. So I said, "Hey, Mom." No one was there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh shit, is there somebody there?" But I mean, I've had like demon dreams. I mean,
Wait, that's the
this
end
is
of
in
that
the house.
story?
Oh yeah, that's the end of the story. But my mom did not come
See,
home.
for me, I love that you go to ghost. For me, an intruder heard you upstairs and was like, "Oh fuck, I
An
can't rob
intruder
this
with groceries
house."
is coming in.
Maybe it was just bags to stick all your
Body
valuables
parts?
into, or body. If it was body parts, you'd probably be dead. I'm thinking somebody heard you and ran. Could be a ghost. I don't know.
No, but the thing was, where I was sitting on the floor,
Yeah.
and I was looking over, like the staircase. It's hard to explain, but I could see the door. No one was there.
Yeah, no one came or went.
Yeah. I sound like a weirdo. Demon dreams, ghost stories.
That's not. I feel like these are pretty tame as far as most of the ghost stories I've heard.
I know.
I mean, I personally don't like it. No offense. I'm not
That's okay.
judging you in any capacity. I don't
care.
because I don't believe it. Like I don't. Maybe ghosts do or don't exist. I
It's
don't
hard.
personally believe it, but it's
yeah.
like I also wouldn't die on that hill, like getting in an
No.
argument with anybody. If like somebody has that belief, that's fine. I'm not afraid of them.
It's not afraid.
I'm kind of also a bullshitter because if you drop me into a fucking abandoned house and I had to stay the night there, I'd be scared of a whole bunch of supernatural shit that I don't believe in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I do not believe that it's scientifically accurate in any capacity. I'd still be afraid.
Right. I mean, I went to, you ever hear of Bachelor's Grove?
Yeah.
We went there, nothing.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
for anyone that doesn't know, Bachelor's Grove is a really, really old cemetery in the Chicagoland suburbs.
yeah, it's supposed to be haunted. Like gangsters used to, drop bodies there.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it's actually like it's whether or not you believe in ghosts, Bachelor's Grove is dangerous just to go there in general
and
because
there's cops all around.
shitty people go there and cops go there because the shitty people are
Right.
there and because like curious people want to trespass.
Right.
So it's dangerous. You could either get arrested or murdered.
Yeah.
Even if there aren't ghosts, it's still a dangerous place.
I mean,
But
it's creepy.
it's also anyone I've ever spoken to that's been there has like a spooky story.
I have zero.
Oh yeah.
Zero spooky stories.
That's so funny. Like a skeptical friend of mine has a spooky story about Bachelor's
I
Grove.
wish I did. I
Yeah.
mean, we went and there was a film crew there. Kind of, I think they were doing like a documentary or something.
Wow.
But we went probably around like close to sundown, but like we were kind of like, oh no, the cops are, but we were there maybe an hour, nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was creepy. I mean, they say like, oh, you see like a house in the distance or
Yeah.
like with the, grave sites, but I didn't see anything there.
Maybe you have to go later at night when it's dark.
That's frightening.
That's the whole point of it.
But I do have my good ghost story though.
Yeah.
The Get Out.
Get out. So what do you do? Like, do you ghost hunt?
Do I ghost hunt every weekend?
Well, I mean, not like the ghost hunters on TV, but you went.
Do you ever
said
watch
you
that show?
intentionally- yeah,
Is it
it's
called
so funny.
Ghost Adventures?
Whichever. The only one I've seen is the one where they're like douchebags to the
Douche.
ghosts.
I was just gonna say douche bag.
They're
The
like-
main guy.
I love it where they're like, "What the fuck, dude?" And it's like you can't threaten a ghost, man.
So we would watch this and we were like douche all the way,
Yeah.
big time. And then I'd come home and my dad would be like, "Did you watch that show Ghost Adventures?" And I'm like, "Are you watching that?" And he goes, "It's kind of scary." I'm like, "No, it's not." Like, don't watch that, douche. Don't watch that.
That's so funny.
No, like you're watching that. No, I do not ghost hunt.
Okay. Well, I
But-
mean, I didn't mean like them. I just mean like because you went to Bachelor's Grove with the intention of like,
Yeah.
do you seek out things like that?
I think younger maybe I did.
Yeah.
I went to San Diego when I was 18. I think I was 18. We went to a place called the Whaley House.
The Whaley House. Tell me about this.
I think a family lived there, and I think they all got murdered. But we were sitting there, and I was with my friend, and I felt like a little weird thing on my leg.
Okay.
And the guy who was doing the tour was like, oh, sometimes people, see this and that, and sometimes they kind of feel like a lick on their leg from the dog, like the family dog. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, did I really feel that? Or was it just like the wind or like a gnat or something like that? So, I mean, I guess I'm very interested in it, but
Yeah.
I'm like,
So if it's there, you're gonna
yes.
go to the like if you're in
Yes.
town and you're like, oh, there's like a ghost thing. Let's go check that out.
Yeah. I don't know if I would do like a ghost tour.
Yeah.
I don't know.
my cousins got married in Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and the reception was at the what's it called? The Shining Hotel.
It's called the Shining Hotel.
No, it's I hate stuff like this.
The Shining Hotel is based on the Stanley Hotel.
The Stanley. So
Thank you, Google.
the reception was in the Stanley Hotel, and
Was the decor the same? Kind of?
no, so the movie The Shining was shot in a completely different building.
How frightening is Shelley Duvall?
She's very frightening. I love that she's
that
like the
Shelley
least.
Duvall,
Yeah,
yeah.
Shelley Duvall. She is like the least. She's the least frightening character, but just as like an actor,
She's frightening, and I
she's
think
frightening.
she was in a movie called...
And watching her so scared, that's ugh.
She's scary to begin with. I
Mm.
mean, great actress, but, olive oil. But, right?
Olive oil.
Was it she
Why
olive
is
oil?
that your go-to, Shelley Duvall?
No, my go-to, Shelley Duvall. She was in a movie, I think, called Mother Goose's Rock and Rhyme.
What?
I think it was
Mother
on the
Goose's
Disney
Rock and
Channel.
Rhyme?
I think it's Mother Goose's Rock and Rhyme. And it was like Cyndi Lauper was in there. I mean, yeah. But she's frightening to begin with.
Yeah, she's got this air of, I don't know. Her smile is menacing.
They played The Shining in Twister.
Oh,
with
did
Helen
they?
Hunt.
What, like in the drive-in theater?
The drive-in theater.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
Um.
Wait, go
What
back
was
to
I-
your
oh,
story.
so
I
with
keep
the-
on cutting you
So
off.
it's fine. So the reception was in the hotel, and it was the book. Stephen King wrote the book because of a night stay at the Stanley Hotel.
Did you read it?
No.
Okay.
And the way Stephen King says it, the book and the movie are two different stories. Like he says, they're not related.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe the external shots were of the actual Stanley, but the inside shots were at a completely different location. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But it's less intimidating when you're there
Right.
because there's a bustling like town around it. But
Do they have like a sign outside or something?
oh yeah, they really embrace
Do
it.
they have the
When you're
maze?
in there, the maze does not
Oh.
exist.
Oh.
But when you're in there, they have movie posters from like all over the world for The Shining and for Dumb and Dumber.
Do they have signed?
No, I'm sure somewhere in the hotel, but like we didn't really explore all that much. But like, cause like the scene in Dumb and Dumber where they're like walking down the stairs in their suits. So Dumb and Dumber, a lot of it was filmed in the Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
The Shining is based on the Stanley, but wasn't filmed in the Stanley.
Okay.
But we went on a ghost tour of like this, not like the big official one, because that one takes hours and it costs a lot of money. But there's like not connected like reception hall type of thing. I think maybe a music hall or something. I don't know. It looked like a tiny church. And we went and did like a ghost tour in there, and it was pretty short. But like when we were like in the basement, they're telling us all these stories about like you might feel a cold hand on you and stuff. Like if you're lucky,
Yeah.
like very few people do, but like some people feel it. And then like as they're sitting there saying this, I'm leaning up against a circuit breaker. It's like this big metal, like I mean not the actual circuit breaker, but there was like a metal door like covering the circuit
All
breaker.
the electricity
So
just
it's
from the hotel shuts down.
no, nothing that exciting. It's actually a more bullshit story than that. It was very cold metal, so I put my hand on it, and I just stood there for the 10 minutes while she's talking, and then I grabbed my sister's arm because I'm a fucking prick. And she wasn't scared at all because my sister my dad calls her Stonewall. She's real
I
tough.
hope she's listening
tough
right
cookie.
now.
No, she's never even seen me do stand up. She's definitely not listening to my podcast. But then he was like leading us through like this creepy hallway and stuff, and then we get to the end, and he's like, all right, so we can head right back up like as a group, like up these stairs and out the door. Anyone that feels like they want to head back the way we came can feel free. And everyone's like, not me. And me and my dad are like, all right. So like we turn around and everyone goes up. So now me and my dad are alone in this basement. And then we're walking down this hallway, and then I start walking a little quicker, and then he starts walking, and we're trying to be like, we're both like kind of scoffing at the idea of ghosts.
Yeah.
And then like I'm a little quicker, then he's a little quicker, and then suddenly we're both like brisk. We're just short of jogging, like trying to escape this thing, because even not believing in it, it can really creep you out. Like
Yeah.
you can
Feel
I don't
it.
know, be susceptible to that. I don't know. It's creepy. It was creepy.
Do you think
Nothing creepy happened. It just
that's
felt
good.
creepy.
Do you think Jack Nicholson walks in there and he's like, "Can I get a free stay here?"
Even if he didn't, I can't imagine he needs that. I think he can
never
afford
know.
it.
You never know.
But I'm sure they let him stay there for free all the time.
That's a good story.
It was fun.
Your dad is the best.
Yeah, he's a good
Your
guy.
dad and mom are the best.
They're awesome.
One time, John and I were driving to Homewood,
Yeah.
and we drove down your block. And I don't know if he told you this, that your dad was outside. He's like, "Oh, come, I'm going across the street. Come over." And I was like, I want to be Jack Roar.
Why do you want to be him?
I don't know. That's kind of creepy.
He's a dorky old man.
I want to be Jack Roar. Thank you.
He is a peach. Everyone loves him.
He's more than a peach.
He loves a spooky prank though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't have any. I wish I had examples. I don't know why I brought that up.
Just a
but he
prank or
just
a
loves-
story?
No. Oh God, he loves a story.
I
But
should tell him next time. Oh, hopefully
sure.
he listens.
I mean, he likes to prank people. Like he likes
Oh.
to
Ugh.
make people freaked out. We used to go camping every year for my birthday
Mm-hmm.
in Marseille. I don't know, somewhere far. And it was this campground.
Marseille, France?
Yeah.
Travel all the way to France.
Really far. It was pretty far actually. Just for my birthday every year. But we'd go to this campground and it was called the Halloween Camping Weekend. I think I've talked about it on the podcast. And it was like set up where every campsite was like every tent and camper and stuff was like done up like it was Halloween. And then the kids
nice.
go trick or treating. This is like the first weekend in October. And he used to just take any opportunity that he could to scare me and my friends. Because it gets, like, even with your neighbors, like, really close by and, like, people are, like, loud and drinking all night, it gets creepy. Like, just
Camping
being
is
in the
creepy
woods and stuff.
anyways.
It is creepy.
I've never been.
Oh, it's the best, though.
I do want to go,
I
though.
miss it so much. So the ghost thing isn't really, like, a constant fear. That's more of, like, a fun fascination for you. You're not,
Kind
like,
of.
always worried about it.
I think so. I think if I'm watching a scary movie, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
could be. But, yeah, I would say it's more of a fascination, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, we watched, we watched The Taking of Deborah Logan, the one that you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch that?
No. John said it wasn't great.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, there were some, like, kind of creepy parts.
Sure. But as a
Um,
whole, the movie
As a whole,
is
yeah.
boring.
But I think, like, the possession kind of thing kind of fits in a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, like The Conjuring, like I said before, kind of it's the possession, ghosts kind of thing. But I don't know. I think it's more a fascination.
Yeah.
Because I think part of me kind of wants to believe, yeah, there are ghosts. But another part is like, I don't know.
Well, my personal opinion, if ghosts are real, like I
Mhm.
said, I'm not going to die on the hill of whether or not they are real.
Do they watch you taking a shower?
Maybe.
Hmm?
They get little ghost boners. But my thing with ghosts
Ghost boner.
is I don't think ghosts pose any threat.
No.
Because I've said this before. I might have said this to you before. Ghosts, how many billions and billions of people have lived and died on
There
this
should
earth?
be ghosts everywhere.
It's standing room only for ghosts.
There should at least be 40 in here.
Yeah, bare minimum. And then people would argue, well, not everyone becomes a ghost. You know,
do you
you have
think?
to have unfinished business to become a ghost. But you know what I say? Who has unfinished business is serial killers. So
Who has
There's-
finished business when they die?
so it's got to be
105-year-olds?
it's got to be nonstop ghosts. And if there aren't like
Murders.
most ghosts have to be murderers and shit. So like they would be violent spirits and we would be dead. Everyone in the world would be dead.
You're just stereotyping
No,
ghosts.
man. I'm
Murderers?
right about this. So what I'm saying is even if ghosts do exist, they cannot hurt you.
Really?
Yeah. Well, Kate, thank you so much for doing my podcast. Did you have
course.
anything? Did you want to plug your Instagram or no? You don't want these creeps?
Well,
You don't have to.
I have a plain Instagram.
A plain Instagram?
Yes, I don't even know what my thing is. I think
You can't even
it's-
remember. Isn't it just,
Are you following me?
yeah.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Are you?
Am I not?
It's Kate210.
Kate 210?
Yes, it is. It's just pictures of me and my fiance on there.
Your fiance. And anyone it's John.
It's
From
John from-
Episodes from prior episode. The one about the kid that my best
The
friend is scared of.
X-Files.
The X-Files,
The
yeah.
peeling of the skin. That's him. And he's sitting over there on the couch.
Waiting to play board games.
Just waiting.
So yeah, so if you want to see pictures of John and Kate, follow her on Instagram.
Perfect.
And then comment with your creepy ghost stories and stuff. I'm sure she'd like to hear them.
Sounds good. And I'll probably maybe post a picture of me as Glenda the Good Witch.
Oh, you have
No.
to. Boo.
I did show you a picture of me after the fact with my grandpa.
Yeah.
Big glasses, not good.
Kate.
I'm wearing a Coca-Cola shirt.
Well, everyone hit up Kate online to make her post the picture of Glenda the Good Witch.
Make me feel good.
Kate, thank you so much. As always, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as at Charlie Roar, and on Tumblr at hearmeroar.tumblr.com. That's the smoothest I've ever remembered it. And as always, that's spelled ROHRER. Kate, thank you so much for doing my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you don't lose any sleep tonight having watched fucking Night of the Twisters or whatever.
Oh no, with this wine I'll be fine.
Awesome. Love you, Kate.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.